What's up, guys? It's your boy Pete, and welcome back to Planting with Pete. Now, if you're new here, this channel consists of almost everything houseplant related. Now, if that tickles your fancy, hit that subscribe button and sit back and enjoy the video. Now, you guys, for today's video, you probably can tell by the thumbnail, I will showing you guys um, some different practices for making a fuller plant, fuller pot, however you want to call it, just so that say if you get one cutting and it grows out and you just have this long vine, then of course there's tons of things that you can do with this actual plant, and then also with some of your wooded plants as well, kind of like this here variegated devil's backbone, which I have been just loving and experimenting on her like crazy, and she has been bouncing back and even doing what I needed to do. But we'll get to that towards the end. Now, like I was saying, you guys, there are many different practices that you can use to actually make a fuller plant that I know of. I'm pretty sure there might be more, but the ones that I do use, the ones that I do know, we will cover them today. And of course, we'll be using this here if I don't break it off. This here, Argerius. Having a brain fart, but Argerius, okay. Um, I'm not gonna cut this one up because she is not mine, or he is not mine. So what I will be doing is showing you guys from a actual. Okay, we're gonna have to move this. You know, I'm accident prone, and it's gonna go flying off the table. But there we go. I'm going to just be using one of these here vines to show you guys the different practices. And of course, I'm pretty sure most of you guys already know about most of these practices here. Some of you guys I know haven't heard of some of them. And also I got asked a couple of questions as well. How can they get fuller actual plants and things without technically cutting them? Now, for some plants you have to cut, and then others you don't. Now, well, at least you don't have to do any pruning. How about that? Now, let's go ahead and get started with this here. Argerius. Now, the goal is, you guys, is to, well, for me and mostly most of you guys, is to have a fuller plant than what you started off with, but mostly healthy um, plant for that matter. So let's go ahead and start here. Hopefully, you guys, this thing is just so viney, you guys. Let's get caught on everything. So, guys, as you can see here, this Argerius here has plenty nodes, a couple of leaves there, and then down towards the base here we have, this is like one weird extra long one here, but there is a empty spatial, yeah, this is a very long one there, section right here, as you can see. Now, again, we are going to make this a fuller plant, so we're just going to pretend like this is just this one little single vine here. So what I'm going to do, you guys, is just make a simple cut. As you can see from all this here, this here has been getting light, but you can also tell by how small this is where it was trailing, and there are a lot of plants in its way, but this end here finally made its way back up, and as you can see, the leaves were getting a lot bigger. Where did it go? Yeah, so we're here, and from this point to this point, you guys, this is where the plant didn't get any light, but of course it kept pushing out, so it gave me this on the end. So let's move this around. There we go. Now, what we're going to do, hopefully you can see this here. Let's move this forward some more. You guys can see what's going on. Maybe that helped, or maybe I made it worse. All right, so Let's bring this down so you can see a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is do a simple cut. Again, since all of this down here is full, she's just fine. What I'm going to do is do a simple cut right here above this node, which is that leaf there, and now she's gone. All right, that is one practice, technically. So if you are wanting to have a bottle of water here. Let's just say this has water in it, right? So if you are wanting to do a one vine as it grows, like that's not the one I cut. Okay, like the one, let's pretend like this is the one I cut. All right, so if you still have your extra piece from that vine, which I'm pretty sure you do, what you're going to do with this piece here is what we would do is place this will be into water. All right. Now this right here will be considered your second plant that once it roots, all those nodes that you're seeing. And again, these are nodes, you guys, that have area roots, and each of those will produce a new plant. And if not, they will also produce roots for this, because this is a technical plant itself, for this here plant. Now, again, once that roots up, then you're going to basically again plant it down back inside. So say if this was it, you're going to plant it back down inside of your pot. So now that you have a little bit more plant foliage here to work with. Very easy, very simple. And of course you're going to use water, which is very quick to for propagating for the most part. All right, so now what we're going to do is move on to the second method, which let's see. I'm not going to cut this one up because I do want to put it in water. So I'm going to do is, yeah, I can do it and just, oh yeah, I got it. So what we're going to do for the next step, you guys, now this one here is more of a, for me, it went straight in my mouth. For me, this here only, I don't say works, it does work, but it's kind of a hassle depending on the plant, and then also you basically just depending on the plant growing it. But working with this this here way for me is just stressful, because the next step, you guys, or the next process would be wet sticks. Okay, wet stick is a stick like this. That is considered a wet stick. I'm guessing just because the stick is technically wet, it's still green and healthy, and it looks like a stick. Now, technically, and in actuality, I can grow an entire plant from this little piece here if conditions are right. Which again, this is a healthy plant, so that wouldn't be the issue. Now, what you would do with these here, let's see how many nodes on here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave them on there. 1, 2, 3, 4. What you're normally going to do, you guys, with plants like these here with nodes, in order for you to get your another plant from this, what I normally do with mine, I don't have any on hand, of course. What I would, well, I'm not gonna do that, but I would use sphagnum, you guys. You would um like moisten your sphagnum moss and just keep it in a closed humid condition. Even if you don't have sphagnum moss, guys, you can place this the old method, the old school method of propagation with the Ziploc bag and paper towel. Trust me, it works. But I think there's an auxiliary bud here. You probably won't be able to see it because of my light, but it's, wait, yeah, can you? Can you? You probably can see a little groove right above this here area root. Right there. It's like a little bump. Anyway, that is where the new growth will come out at. And you will put this in there until it germinates itself, root up, and then also put out new leaves before you actually take it out and try to transplant them back inside of the soil. Now, again, when you're doing either or any of these processes, except for the last one, you will make sure that putting these back inside of your soil, um, after you've rooted them out, to keep your soil moist or wet, or better yet, keep it in a humid condition or environment rather, and water it first, and then keep it in a humid environment. That way, you don't have to come back and make sure you're spraying down, and you're probably going to overwater your already established mother plant that's inside. So I would wait and just soak it, put it in a humid condition, watch it grow. Um, Now that there, I think that was the second one, right? Yeah, that was the second one. Now the third one, very simple, easy, you guys. Very simple, easy. And I know most of you guys know this method. We do this a lot when we are just trading plants, or again, we're doing this, we're just propping, or some of the time we're doing this and not even want to do it. It's like your dog or your cat or yourself kick the plant and it falls over, and now you're left with something like this. This is what we call a regular plant node. You guys, this here is much better than your wet stick. All right, so once this wet stick here starts to grow, it will look, well, not like this, but it will start to grow exactly like this. Now, again, this is a stick because of there's no leaf attached to it. Now, you can do this one the same way. Either put it in a humid condition with moss and watch it grow. Or what I normally do is my almost never fail method is water. So pretend like this is full of water. And what you would do is cut your plants, or cut that. Or matter of fact, you can cut this here, all these nodes. So technically there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nodes to work with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wet sticks on here. So there's a lot of plants that I can get out of this here. But um again, if I'm cutting these into nodes, we are looking at, like I said, 2, 4, 5, 5 solid plants that I can get just for working with these here. And again, you just go in and cut these off, space them out so that you're not cutting exactly right on the node. And if you cut on that node, you guys, or where those area roots are coming out, then you risk losing the plant. So when you're cutting, you want to make sure they're spaced apart like that and leaving your node dead center. You don't want to get this and cut it there or there. You're going to mess up your plant, you guys, and your chances for a nice successful germination or propagation, just your pickings are slim at that point. But yeah, this process here works perfectly for me. I actually prefer doing it this way compared to a wet stick. Now, wet stick usually, you know, guys, if your plants get leggy, as you just seen, sometimes they don't get enough light, and then as you can see, they find their way to the light, and now they have leaves. So you have to do what you have to do in order to get your plant to look the way you want it to look, even though they have a mind of their own. But aesthetically, for me personally, you know, like I love a fuller plant, especially when all the vines, if it's a vining plant, especially when all the vines have a significant amount of leaves on them, not too spaced out, no gaps, no nothing, just pure foliage. Um, and you most definitely, if you've been following me, I try my best to keep that from happening. Again, usually that's dealing with light. That's usually it's dealing with light. So I try my best to keep that from happening. But with these trailing plants, you know, sometimes you can't help it, and you just have to go back in and cut and prune or whatever the case may be. All right, guys. This next one here, it kind of flows with the actual initial cut of this here first one. Now, most people, I don't know anyone personally that do cutbacks and don't keep the cuttings, unless it's just like maybe they're just, I'm done. Like this plant is all over the place. Maybe, again, never heard of it. I have problems myself personally making cuttings and don't know what to do with them, but I'm not gonna throw them in the trash, you know. So they're perfectly good cuttings. So yeah, but this falls right up on that. If you didn't want to work with these here, which again, depending on the plant and the person, I wouldn't see why not. You can make a cutback as you just seen, and your plant will actually push out growth. Let's see, can I find a growth point in here? I know I have one that's sitting right here on this golden goddess, not golden goddess, my giant Hawaiian pothos that you guys may have seen that I can't show you until the actual update of that video, but she's doing exactly what I wanted to show you. But anyway, you guys, most of these plants or most of your plants have nodes that are down inside the soil. So you will rarely find a plant with one single node rooting. I mean, we're talking a full plant, not like a cutting that has been rooted in sphagnum or something like that. But we're talking about a full. We're talking about like this. This is not by one little node. Even though it could possibly work out, but one wrong move, it's snapping completely off. But anyway, there are nodes down in the soil, so we're going to work back with this one here. Well, let's start backwards. So once I cut this one here, you guys should already know there are plenty nodes to work with. And as I was saying, once you make that initial cut off of your vine, basically you're just told that plant that something has happened to me. Let's put out some vigorously crazy growth to make sure that I don't die. So what this plant will do, most of your especially aroids, if you have you should have those nodes that are buried. So say if this is a plant and all that down here is pure root, and I decided to top her. Now, when I topped her, of course, I'm going to get an extra plant there. Depending on the plant, it will start to push out more growth here, and every node, you guys. Well, not every node, but it will push off leaves or stems, vines out from wherever there is a leaf, especially once you hack the auxins at the tip of the plant. You guys, there's these chemicals, I think they're called auxins, don't quote me on it. Sounds right about now. I did study it, been a while, but these are the parts that actually find the light. So again, with this plant growing however it wants to grow, I guarantee you it will find the light. These things actually follow the sun, kind of like your sunflowers. Those aliens, those things literally throughout the day like stalks the sun, and when it goes down, you guys, it restarts. So whenever the sun, it is crazy. So okay, we're way off. That just lets you know how interesting that is. But yeah, if it's still connected and I cut it there, then of course it will try to shoot out more new growth from one of the growth points. And then also, you guys, the root system that did carry, well, the massive root system that carried with the nodes that carried the massive root system will also try their best to shoot out plants of their own. This is why when you cut like some philodendrons, like you'll cut a pink princess or any philodendron, just about, if you top it, um, sometimes you will notice that the plant will shoot out growth from the bottom. Now, this is just not a seed or maybe a wet stick or something fell down. No, there are nodes below the soil that these roots are coming out from. And once you top that plant or cut it in any kind of way, it's going to try its best to, it's what I normally say when you do plants, like you just piss them off. So now, like I was saying, it's their mission to come back vigorously and just strong and crazy. They have the root system to support everything that you cut off. So just imagine how fast it's gonna grow with all the root system. You get what I'm, just like, okay, just like children, you feed them, they grow. And it's like they continue to eat and they continue to grow. Not a bad thing, but children like to eat, you know? So yeah, so imagine again, big, massive root system, 3 leaves. Guys, give that maybe a couple of months, those 3 leaves turn into a full crazy plant that you don't know what to do with it. Trust me, it has happened to me. It's even happening now to some of my plants out front that are just, yeah, that's a whole nother story, guys. But yeah, these plants will produce new plants out of the soil which also gives you that fuller look from the top. So if you're having a regular plant that is just, I would say, fun size, take a little a node or two off your top, propagate them, place them back in the soil, and give your plant enough time to respond to what just happened. And again, usually they will come out of one of these here already nodes, or they will come out of the soil, which is from that actual root system. Now, the last one, you guys, what I'm going to do, since this one here is just basically working backwards. This one here, I've been testing out and it works just fine. Well, I didn't really have a choice with this one. You guys may have seen it once before already. Maybe on my Smash Up channel. It should be. Go check that out, you guys. The link is in the description box below. But the last one is called notching. Now, what I've done on one of my, I have a Skindapsis exotica. I'm using that one because of the actual. I'm using. Well, I had already started that one, but I'm looking at my Hawaiian pothos and I see how thick the stem or vine is. I could try that one, but I don't want to bother her. I'm not gonna bother her until I show you guys the update what happened. Anyway, but yes, it's called notching, you guys. Notching again is basically you're cutting your plant. You're not cutting your plant in half. You're not cutting it off. Let's move this out the way. You are basically cutting 1/4, I would say, a quarter within the stem of this plant. Now, notching, I know for a fact, definitely works for fiddle leaf figs, you guys. So if you have a fiddle leaf and you definitely do not want to make that cut, kind of like most people have to do to make it that tree look, then of course you would go and you would do your notching. Now, excuse me. Now this one here responds to notching pretty well. And of course it responds to propagating as well also. Now what I did here, you guys, the same day I did that propagation video of these here, Devil's Backbone. Guys, go over, pause this one and check it out. What I did was, you can see the actual leaking, but you didn't see me actually make the notch cuttings. But after I propagated, which you guys can definitely see here, those are the hard stumps or the calluses. Come on, right? I think my finger works better. Yeah, there we go. Those are the calluses right there that were propagated, and all the propagation pieces are down in here, except for one, which, you know, that storm came through, and yeah, this one found its way kind of turned over, and I actually just finally seen that piece that while I was propagating that I actually put in here. So all the propagations did. Why am I looking around this instead of moving it? So all the propagations did actually root. Go check that channel out, guys. Pete's Plant Smash Up. They did root pretty good. But again, there was one that some kind of way it fell. I knew how it fell over. The wind knocked it over. But anyway, she's in water just fine. But I did show you guys when I initially cut them, and then now we're here. So the one thing about notching, you guys, I have to let you know is if you're not a pro at it, even some pros, let me backtrack. Yes, even some pros will tell you that it's very hard to kind of notch, even if you have the right conditions. Your plant just probably not even gonna respond to it. It's like, what are you doing to me? I don't feel like doing that, you know. So you have to keep all those aspects in mind, and even if, like I was saying, you're very good at it. The success rate of, well, for me, the success rate is kind of like a 60, 40. 40%, the plant just looks at me, and then like the other 60%, she responds well. Again, it could just be the timing of the year. It could just be light, humidity, or whatnot. But since it has warmed up, that is when I tried this here process, and of course, it's starting to get humid out there, and it actually has started to work, and I'm so proud of myself. So what you're going to do with notching, you guys, let's go ahead and Let me show you first before I start hacking again. And this stuff loves to shoot out that protective white crap. Um, it's like a deterrent, you guys, for animals. Try to eat it, taste it. Ugh. But anyway, right here, as you can see, this is the. Is that it? Yeah, this right here is new growth from notching. All right. Now, if you look up the top. Whoa. Okay. So since I'm leaning forward, there we go. So I don't knock my mic off. Okay. So this is where I propagated her. Whenever I did the cutting, this was that new stem that was coming out or was just about out. So that is why you guys go check that video out. Is why I cut her. Now when I did cut her, there is a little scar mark right there. That, if you look all the way around it, that is where I notched her at. And as you can see, this is what happened when I did that. And then there's also a notch right here. See that little leaf coming out? You can also see the scoring. Yep, the scarring mark right there. And you definitely can tell by these because that's that white residue that leaked out from it. I did know I did a lot of notches on here, guys. And like I was telling you before, the success rate of these are just again, the plant does what it wants to do. But I can show you some more. Like this one here decided not to actually work. Now keep in mind when you're notching is what we call the waiting game, okay? You have to wait. So don't notch it and then you come back a week later, nothing happened. No, we're talking maybe a couple of months depending on the plant, you know. And again, once you're notching, you need to make sure that you have bright light, nothing indirect, and then also high humidity, which is again why I would water her, stick her in a spot, and just let her go. Now with this cactus or succulent, of course I can't water it too much, and you probably can tell from up here. Probably can't because the white is washing it out, but I'm pretty sure that white brownness, I don't know, it could just be from the variegation, but I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, you don't want to overwater her. And from what I've seen on here, I probably should have checked it before I started, you guys, but there are 1, 2, 3 of my notches actually are working so far. Yeah, for the most part, 3 of them are working so far. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time for the rest to actually kick in. But yeah, guys, that is actually it here for this here video. I just want to show you guys different ways to actually make a fuller plant without actually buying 2 of the same plants, unless they're affordable or unless you just want to. But I do know some of these plants run very, very pricey, and some people just don't like to take certain chances without actually seeing someone doing it or reading about it. Just basically research, you guys. But yeah, I mean, that is it. What I'm going to do, like I said, with these is just put these down in some water and let them be. And once they root, most definitely put them back down inside of the mother plant herself. And I get this node and just stick it down in here. And yeah, just fill this up with water. And of course, there's the 2 plants right here if you want to be technical. And they're going to go right back down inside of the plant. But as I was saying, you guys, that is it here. Move this out the way before things go away. So that is it here for today's video, guys. As I was stating, I just want to show you different ways that you are able to actually get more out of your plant, again, without having to go and purchase them. I know most of you guys know some of the basics of making a fuller plant, but you know, why not? There are a lot of beginners and some people have never heard of notching before, which I was kind of shocked. But I used to do it a lot, especially like when I was growing up with my plum trees and peaches and stuff like that. I was like a real kind of, I don't say real farmer, but you know, I grew a lot of things that I could eat. And there's nothing, well, I don't say nothing more because they have house plants, but when you're able to grow something and reap the benefits other than, a picture or a like, you can eat it. So I grew this, let me eat it. So that was me a long time ago, but yeah, it worked, and I don't see why not to try it now. As I was saying before, I did do some notchings on my um exotica, Scandapsis exotica. So we're going to see how that works out. Again, I haven't done any kind of notching on any kind of vining plant. Just more of the wooded kind of plants, which are these. These may seem green, but as they get older, they start to callus off, as you can see down there. So yeah, guys, again, that is it. Thanks for coming back and supporting the channel. Please do me a favor, hit that like button. Also, comment down below, let me know if you ever heard of any of some of these. Let me know if you heard of any of these practices that you're seeing. I know most of you guys know about the node cuttings, wet sticks, single vine cutting, chop prop, even pinching. Did I cover pinching? Okay, pinching is this. No, it is not the same. So pinching, let's cover that real quick. Pinching is when I can do it right here, even though I don't want to do it. So let's take this one right here. See that little new leaf? Pinching. And now you see the little white sap coming off. I gotta watch myself now. See that? Yep, definitely can see it now. But pinching is when you take the new growth off, kind of like what I do with my begonia. Let me show you guys real quick. If you guys have been following me for a while, then you most definitely know this little girl here. Now, she looks a little iffy because of the storm came through, and she may have found herself a few times face down, you know. Now, it's kind of my fault. Not gonna say kinda. It is my fault, you guys. I definitely need to be repotting her. She will be on the repot video pretty soon. But notching again is when you take anything new growth and you take it off. Now this one here I've notched for some time, and I wish you could see the actual notch damage, but I actually let her start it to grow. Well, here's a notch piece right here. Let's see, can I move this over? This is going to be a long video. Come on. There's one of the notched pieces right there. You know what I can do? No, I can't do that because it's stuck down in this little bitty pot. Can we see it right there? That is one of the pinching that I'm doing. Anytime you're pinching these, you guys, this is what happens to the bottom. That is all growth that came from probably one of the nodes from pinching. And this is how I wanted to get a fuller plant without cutting her. So even with, she has now, oh, matter of fact, this is here, that is the height. As you can see, when I started to pinch her, it gave a branch there. She's given a new branch there, and then of course this main stem. So again, what you need to do, once you get it up to a certain height that you want it, then you start your pinching, and then that will keep that plant at a certain height, and then also it will force new growth out of almost any directions. Now, again, this plant sits outside. She's most definitely in the need, of a repot, and I mean it's bad, guys. She dries out like every 5 seconds. But anyway, yeah. So pinching works perfectly for your begonias or soft leaf plants in general. I might just take this leaf off. It got broke, and she was just living off of a whim there. Um, but yeah, notching definitely works, you guys. So check that out. But again, I do love this begonia. But yeah, guys, that is it here for today's video. Please do me a favor, hit that like button. Also, comment down below, like I was saying. Let me know if you heard of any of these practices. Again, whether it's notching, pinching, chop, propping, cutting, planting, whatever the case may be, let me know down in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to make sure you're subscribed, guys, and make sure you hit that notification bell. This bell will keep you notified and let you know what's going on over here on Planting with Pete. And I will see you guys tomorrow with another video. Bye.